All right, man. What is good? We're going to talk this boxing this morning. This is going to be a fun subject today, man. Teofimo Lopez, man, you showing your draws, man. All this moving around, changing dates and all that stuff. It's what I'm telling you. These guys think they're these big stars, man. They are not these big. They are not that big a star, man. If you got to have your date switched this much, man, that ain't nothing but tickets, man. Those guys don't think you selling enough tickets. And as a result, they try to move the date, see if they can figure out some type of gimmick to get Teofimo Lopez's ticket sales up, man. I'm telling you, these guys ain't that big a star. They need to go back to that old school mentality of fighting these guys and fighting people and proving that they're the best in the world instead of doing all that internet jabberjawing, man. I'm telling you, I believe a lot of these guys' numbers are fake. But before we get it, and also we're going to talk about Devin Haney getting a runaround. All right. Now, I got out of that whole conversation about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, with Gary Russell Jr., whether he was ducking them, whether, Ryan Garcia, all of that. But when the WBC orders another final eliminator, I just got to go with Devin Haney, man. That WBC and these WBC is just giving that guy to run around all day. Why don't you just order one of them to fight Devin Haney, man? And just jump to just order Ryan Garcia to fight Devin Haney. And then after that, let JoJo Diaz win the winner of that fight. That way you can just get it done with. And you actually have somebody, rolling these guys up into the real championship, man. These guys keep ordering these fights that these guys aren't going to take. And it's nothing but the runaround, man. And I'm telling you, if everybody, and it took me, and I'm like I say, I went through this slow. I wanted out of that whole conversation. Devin Haney is the only guy in that weight division, to me, it seems like he's dead serious about fighting everybody. And the rest of them, a bunch of guys want to be prima donnas. But let me say what's up to everybody in the chat before we get into those subject matters. And I like it because it's such, man, the shame of it is such a stacked division at lightweight. Like, if you could just line these guys up and have them fight, you wouldn't have nothing but excitement, right? They're all very, very good fighters, all very interesting fighters, but all of them dudes, man, I'm saying all these dudes with the exception of Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko right now, I think are full of crap. They're everybody but Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. But my man Adrian Vent in the building. What's going on? He said, "What's up, Fannon Don? I'm chilling, just talking boxing this morning." Tony Fielder in the building. What's going on, man? Sherman Nichols in the building. What's going on? CG Cap in the building. Said, "Man, Fannon to Don, always talking about the subjects in boxing that need to be discussed. Seeing as mainstream media will never touch these real issues." Heck no, they ain't going to touch them. But I'm starting to, seriously, man, I've backed off a lot off of mainstream media. After having, been doing this stuff and watching how everything goes, for a series of years, I'm starting to understand a little bit more, like take it a little less personally with the individual media guys, because they under a lot of pressure, man. Those guys are under a lot of pressure to sell this garbage. Quite honestly, man, somebody in my position, I'm under the pressure not to sell that garbage. You know what I mean? It's like we are absolutely diametrically opposed. I'm going to talk about the underbelly of boxing and the corruption in boxing and the racism in boxing and all of that stuff, because that's what those guys are not allowed to sell. They're not allowed to talk about it. I don't believe they're allowed to talk about it. And I think the minute that they start talking about it, I think they're going to get fired. That's what I think about them, man. But that doesn't mean we're going to let them off the hook completely. Certain guys that go over the top and seem to enjoy it a little too much, who shall remain nameless for today, because I'm trying to change my ways as far as those guys go. Roger Mudd, I think this is all BS. Is really about promotional companies. They can't allow Lopez to fight Haney because Haney is his own company. If he became undisputed under his own brand, that could have something to do with it, man. That could have something to do with it. But I don't think that is the deciding factor. I think the deciding factor is I think that they could lose to Devin Haney. If Devin Haney had his own promotional company and Devin Haney couldn't fight, they would fight Devin Haney. And they would beat Devin Haney and Devin Haney's promotional company and not care about it. You know what I'm saying? I think the main thing, Roger, is that Devin Haney is a very, very good fighter. You can crack jokes about whether he can punch or not, but you can't say nothing about whether or not you're going to have a difficult time hitting him. That dude is a very, very elusive top-notch fighter, man. And I just don't think that, I don't think some of these guys want to lose, period. You know what I'm saying? Because you can. I mean, none of these guys, I don't think any of these guys are lightweight. Is it out of the question that they could beat each other? With the grand exception of two guys. JoJo Diaz ain't beating nobody. And if he does, whoever beats JoJo, I'm telling you right now, if JoJo Diaz beats any of these guys, I am absolutely going to talk mad crap about the guy that he beats, because there ain't no way in the world JoJo Diaz gets waxed by my man Gary Russell Jr. and then he winds up beating one of these guys up there at lightweight. That just tells you either Gary Russell Jr. is really, really good, or these guys ain't cracked up what they cracked up to be, or a combination of the two. But on the real, Devin Haney is. I just think they don't want to fight him because Devin Haney can beat him. Because Devin Haney can beat. Now, when I say can, notice what I'm saying. I'm not saying will. I'm not saying Devin Haney will beat all of them. I'm saying Devin Haney can beat all of them, which means it is a distinct possibility that if Teofimo Lopez gets in the ring with Devin Haney, that Devin Haney can win that fight. If Devin Haney gets in the ring with Ryan Garcia, there is a distinct possibility that he can beat Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney's going to beat JoJo Diaz. If he don't beat JoJo Diaz, I just don't know boxing. I cannot see JoJo Diaz beating that guy. JoJo Diaz he's just not dynamic enough. He ain't got the hand speed, and Devin Haney's just going to pick him apart all day. If Devin Haney loses to Devin Haney can't lose to Rolly Romero. It is a mathematical impossibility for him to lose to Rolly Romero. I'm going with Chris Colbert, man, with Rolly Romero. I'm saying Rolly Romero is the worst fighter. Rolly Romero is the present day Ricardo Mayorga. I'm just waiting for Rolly Romero to pop out with cigarettes in an interview. Once he does that, he is an English speaking Ricardo Mayorga, and he is going to have to look up and find somebody without a chin in that to get a belt. That's my take on it, man. But yeah, it is a lot of nonsense. But at the same time, it's nonsense that I'm willing to talk about because there's so much talent in that division. But I'm 100% right about now with Devin Haney, with them just screwing over Devin Haney. JoJo Diaz, why would you order JoJo Diaz, Ryan Garcia, when you could just go right to Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or you can go right to JoJo Diaz to Devin Haney? The final eliminator is where they're going to end it at. You know what I mean? Because then the final eliminator isn't going to take the fight for the main belt. Until unless maybe for some reason they get rid of that franchise belt. Roger Mudd said everybody else would be B-side all the time, with the lion's share going to Haney. Hey man, but that's what they are now. To Gervonta Davis, they're the B-side. They're the B-side now, would going to Gervonta Davis. But I don't know if that's the case right now, man. They'll beat it, but if they beat Devin Haney, then they'll be the A side. But I just think they need to take the fight and stop all that A side, A side, B side nonsense to begin with, man. Mike Rhymes said, with no power, Devin Haney must be perfect for 12 rounds. Say what you want, not a power puncher. Linares, 35, said it took him too long to figure it out. But a younger guy, Lopez, by KO, maybe. I don't know if Teofimo Lopez still got to prove himself. Maybe. Devin Haney got rocked by Jorge Linares, but he won that fight all the way out. It was a walk for him. He got buzzed one time. Devin Haney may not allow Teofimo Lopez to hit him. And I don't know that Devin Haney doesn't have any power. I think that's a little unfair. He's not a big power puncher, right? From what I can see. But it doesn't. I wouldn't say that he can't. I wouldn't say that the guy can't punch. But I will tell you this: Teofimo Lopez ain't guaranteed to lay a glove on that kid, because that kid. He is an exceptional defensive fighter, man. An exceptional defensive fighter, and he's learning. But more than anything, I'm giving the dude credit because he got heart. Devin Haney, I believe if they sign for that fight, they'll take the fight. And with those lightweights, I believe that he will take those fights. Teofimo Lopez is being a little bit of a prima donna, man. And the longer and I'm going to tell you this right now, The longer Teofimo Lopez is out of that ring, the worse it is, the worse off it is for Teofimo Lopez. He better get in that ring, and he better get in that ring and fight often. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to stay at 135 pounds. He's going to eat his way out of that division. Vlad's dad in the building. What's going on? Say good morning, Fannon in the chat. Yes, sir, man. Pound to save them both. What is that? They all afraid of the boogeyman. They all afraid of the real boogeyman of boxing. Hashtag Devin Haney. Down at lightweight, he looks like it. Seriously, I ain't gonna lie. When the WBC is protecting fighters from you, there's boogeyman status. I mean, with Errol Spence Jr. was being called the boogeyman at 147, at least it was only the fighters that were ducking him, right? Danny Garcia didn't want to fight him. Sean Porter didn't want to fight him. Keith Thurman didn't want to fight him. But at least you didn't have the sanctioning body protecting fighters from him, because that's what the WBC is doing at this point in time by having fights all around him. You know what I mean? You got a franchise guy. They got a franchise guy above him, and then they got title eliminators below him, and never the twain shall meet, man. But I like that Linares win. I think you guys are underestimating that Linares win. Jorge Linares is a seasoned champion, man. And Jorge Linares dropped Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez didn't drop Lomachenko. Jorge Linares dropped dropped Vasily Lomachenko. But the only thing is with Jorge Linares is Jorge Linares ain't got that great a chin, man. You know. But give Devin Haney his credit, man. Devin Haney is causing these problems. The Devin Haney is causing these dudes problem, man. Damon Wester said, "Hey, the problem is, Fannon, the Latino fan base got more balls for Teofimo and Canelo than the fighters themselves." Look, man, shout out to the Latino boxing fans out there. I appreciate you, man. Okay, before I answer Damon West, let me do this in a politically correct fashion. To all the Latino fight fans out there, I do appreciate you guys supporting your fighters. And I don't have any problem with you doing it. You've got some very, very good fighters over there. Teofimo Lopez rightfully should be considered the top lightweight. You know, Canelo Alvarez has been fighting for years and is obviously a very high skilled fighter. But you guys are playing Captain Saberho with these guys right now. I'm just telling you, man. Teofimo Lopez needs to fight Devin Haney, I think, period. Because those guys have the same claim at the same belt, man. And Teofimo Lopez needs to rematch Vasily Lomachenko. That's my thing with Teofimo. And honestly, man, I'm kind of cracking up about these ticket sales, because there ain't no way that's a reason why they're moving these around, man. You can't just name yourself a star, man. You got to actually earn it. And I'm hoping that Teofimo Lopez figures that out, dog. Because if he's not selling tickets and he goes back to fighting on top rank cards and he's not selling tickets, man, tell you, man, Bob Arum's going to try to put him in there with a ringer. You know, that's not too long, because he already threatened him and say, "Hey, look, man, I don't appreciate you going over to Triller to begin with." You know. King, what's going on? Eric Holt in the building, man, says salute OG and the family, man. What's going on, man? Yeah, and hit the like button, man. I appreciate if you guys will hit the like button. I so much appreciate getting up in the morning, being able to talk to you guys, especially after I get my coffee in me. King Third Eye Supreme said, "Hey, Fannon, viewers don't understand how young Devin Haney is. He's getting better and better." Yeah, man, he's not even got his man strength. That's a kid. Devin Haney's a kid, man. He ain't got his man strength yet. But more importantly, man, you got to hit that dude. I haven't seen him have a problem with somebody in the boxing ring yet. I haven't seen it. I see that guy, his footwork, his foot speed, his hand speed, all of that stuff, dude, I believe is really, really top notch. Now, I think he could get an inside game, right? And that could be something he's working on, man. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, you got to fight him. He is a legit fighter, dude. He's every bit as a legit fighter as Ryan Garcia is, more so than Ryan Garcia. He's a better fighter than Ryan Garcia is. Ryan Garcia can just punch. Ryan Garcia can crack. That's for sure. Teofimo Lopez can crack. But dude, what difference does it make what difference does it make how hard you can hit if you can't hit the guy? You know what I mean? If Teofimo Lopez can punch as hard as he wants, if he can't land that punch, he's losing. And Teofimo Lopez is not a track star, okay? Not a track star. That dude is not Roberto Duran, okay? He's not a high volume pressure fighter. He's a counter puncher, and he's a counter puncher with a lot of power. You're going to counter punch. I don't think you're going to have a lot of success counter punching Devin Haney. I just don't see it. He's 3 punches ahead of you from what I can see. Devin Haney is 3 punches ahead of you every time I see him. You know? Mike Rhymes said Lopez has fast hands and quick reactions too. Yeah, I mean, he does, but not at the level of Devin Haney. Devin Haney's a much faster hands, man. Much faster hands. But Teofimo Lopez is a very, very solid fighter. And I'm not going to tell you that I know who's going to win. I'm just telling you that none of these guys got the right. None of them got the right to be acting like they're Floyd Mayweather Jr. And you got at least 3 of them walking around doing that. Devin Haney doesn't do that. Seriously, Devin Haney's got his own promotional company, and I understand that. But Devin Haney is not behaving like a prima donna. And trust me, I didn't give Devin Haney just the benefit of the doubt for the heck of giving Devin Haney the benefit of the doubt. I watched what was going on. I'm watching what's going on in that weight division. And I waited for a long time for me to kind of put the pieces together because everybody's talking shit. Rolly Romero to me is just a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like Rolly Romero is just a joke, but he's talking a lot. Teofimo Lopez is a very, very solid fighter. Very, very solid fighter who had a good fight against Lomachenko, who doesn't want to rematch with Lomachenko. That's a big money fight for him. That's a big money fight for boxing. And he's acting like it's a joke. Dude, he did not beat Vasily Lomachenko. He did not beat the brakes off of Vasily Lomachenko. That was a close fight, and he lost the second half of the fight. He needs to rematch the guy, in my opinion. And honestly, dude, I think Devin Haney would fight Vasily Lomachenko. And I don't think any of those guys want to see Vasily Lomachenko. I don't think Teofimo Lopez wants to see him. I don't think Ryan Garcia wants to see him. I know Rolly Romero don't want to see him. But I think Devin Haney would fight that guy, you know? And that might be the boogeyman of the division right now because everybody's acting like that dude doesn't exist. And it's funny. Isn't it funny how he went from somebody that, was a pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. He's the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali and all that stuff to just nobody saying his name that quickly. And I'm just flipping it the other way, man. That dude is still there, man. And you guys better believe he's still there. You know what I mean? B Spittin said Teo has more power, but he has no win. He bulks up and gasses out by round 8. Haney by decision easy. Yeah, and honestly, man, I think if Devin Haney takes some I don't think Devin Haney has less power than Vasily Lomachenko. And Vasily Lomachenko was snapping his head back. I think Devin Haney, honestly, man, I might favor Devin Haney over Teofimo Lopez. All he's got to do is have enough power to all he has to do is have enough power to earn the respect and keep the respect of Teofimo Lopez. That's it. And see Teofimo Lopez's counters coming. And I think that he'll beat him. But yeah, exactly. He has slow feet. No doubt. We say Shakur what? Hold on. PC, we live in a boxing world where facts don't matter while today it's more transparent to the fans as to what is going on. How do boxers sleep at night lying so easily like everybody else? They learn from the promoter. Will lie like a rug. It lie like a rug and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Said Loma 100% the boogeyman of the division. Yeah, don't nobody want that. Don't nobody want that, and nobody's pushing it but me. I'm telling you, man, that's how boxing is. I've been pushing for that Teofimo Lopez, Vasily Lomachenko rematch. I've done several videos on it. I don't hear anybody else talking about it. Everybody else was so high and big time on Lomachenko, not a peep. You know what I'm saying? Just not a peep. That's how phony. That's how fly by night and how phony some boxing fans are. They don't even mention Lomachenko. Right, but before that, Lomachenko was everything, and a buck. Javier said, to work. On my way to work. God bless. Hey man, have a good day at work, man. Absolutely. Have a good day. Good day at work. Omar Weaver said, good morning, Fannon. Haney holds his head high sometimes coming out of exchanges. Crawford does this at times too. Yep. Well, I'll keep a watch out for that. I'm sure, I'm not saying that he's a technically perfect and sound fighter, man, but I'm going to tell you, man, he'll fight. And Teofimo Lopez, look, man, I'm laughing that they pushed that date back. If they push that date back one more time, man, you can't tell me that dude's they're not doing that to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is going to set his date, and nobody's going to take anywhere a date near him. But listen to how these guys talk about Teofimo Lopez. You swear that's where he is. You know what I'm saying? But I know that he's not, he's not without fault, man. What's going on? Copper Aborigines in the building. He says, salute, brother Martin Blackwell for Fannon International Box. What's going on with you, man? How you feeling, man? He says, Stankachenko ducked Devin Haney. Yep, he did. He absolutely did. He was in a position to do it. That's why I'm saying I think Devin Haney would fight him. I'm absolutely. That's why I'm telling you, I watched Devin Haney. I don't give I'm telling you, with all those lightweights, I don't give my support super lightly to those guys because all of them seem like flakes to me. From my perspective, I thought that they were all flakes. But honestly, man, Devin Haney looks like he's more about that business than Gervonta Davis is. At this point in time, you know what I mean? He seems like he's more about the business than Gervonta Davis is. And I like that about him. So but the first time, man, get out of here, man, with that crap, dog. She's just like, man, Haney not ready, man. Just stop. Please stop with that stuff. Fannon and friends, man, goodbye. I know I done blocked Fanons and friends before, but welcome back, dude. And by the way, man, thanks for make more videos about me, man. I have a suspicion. I blame all of this phoniness on the same channel. Whenever I see phoniness about my name, I automatically blame the same guy, man. Thanks for starting to make videos about me again, man. I must be on the uptick. You know what I'm saying? Said, that T.O. doesn't sell tickets when he has his next fight on a Monday. Yeah, exactly. And fighting on a Monday. Or you know what that could be? It could also be Triller not knowing what they're doing. There's a good chance that Triller doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, Triller is responsible for that Evander Holyfield thing. They could be some Rock Nation to them dudes too. Because Rock Nations, there's a skill to promoting fights. And there's a skill beyond just throwing money at them. You know what I mean? And saying, oh, this is the most popular guy. That's what happened with DAZN. Eddie Hearn didn't understand American boxing, or at least DAZN didn't understand American boxing, because they thought that they could just throw a bunch of money at it and take over the PBC, man. And that was like the furthest thing. That was for the furthest thing from the truth, man. Tone 78 BU Rider said 135 top 5 is Haney, Davis, Russell. Russell's not at 135. Russell's at 126. There's not a Russell at 135. Teofimo Lomachenko. See, I would switch it. I think Teofimo Lopez deserves to be the top guy at 135. I would say Teofimo. My thing would be Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, and Vasily Lomachenko. And you could switch the two. Because honestly, man, Gervonta Davis ain't fought nobody at lightweight. To date, he's not fought anybody at lightweight. Now, as far as being an overall fighter, I would say that I think that Gervonta Davis is the best of all those fighters. But as far as being the top guy in the division, I would give that. I think that needs to go to Teofimo Lopez, man, just out of risk, because the guy got 3 belts. He beat Vasily Lomachenko. That's not an easy task. You know what I mean? It wasn't an easy task, and he deserves credit for that. But at the same time, you got to fight Devin Haney and put that on the line, friend. You got to put it on the line, man. Ain't nobody else out there for you, man, that's going to prove it. If he beats Devin Haney, then, boom, there you go. Then he's the man. He's an undisputed champion at 135 pounds, but he's not talking about being undisputed. He's calling himself undisputed, but he doesn't want to fight for undisputed. So, that's on him, man. Said Haney is trying to catch up to Tank. That's why Haney seems like Haney goes harder. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot more fighters around him. Tank's got Ellerby and Mayweather around him, man. He's just boxed in. I like Tank. I can actually be a Tank fan and hate who he's fighting. You know, my mind can go both ways. I know Gervonta Davis is a legit fighter. I know that I believe he's somebody that if it was up to him would fight these guys in a minute. But he just got Mayweather Promotions blocking him from making good fights because they want to make in-house fights, at least, and they're honest about it. One thing you can't say about Floyd Mayweather Jr., you can't call him a liar, because I've never caught the dude in a lie. He tells the truth as he knows the truth to be. You may not like the truth, but Floyd Mayweather Jr. tells you the truth, and he's telling you what he's doing with Gervonta Davis. Leonard Ellerby, I got a lot of respect for Leonard Ellerby. I ain't never caught Leonard Ellerby in a lie. I've caught Leonard Ellerby a couple times saying something where I was like, what? And then he corrected himself mid-sentence and made it the truth. He was like, he made it the truth. He was like, let me rephrase that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to make the greatest fights in the world. We're trying to make the biggest fights. And he's very, very honest about it. So I'm a fan of Leonard Ellerby. I'm a fan of Floyd Mayweather Jr., but it is what it is. They're boxing the guy in, and they're going to keep all the threats away from him until they make all their money off of him. Because that's what they're in business to do. They're in business to make money, and they're not lying about it. You know what I mean? Tone 78BU said, I know that Russell's not, but he can fight at 135 easy. Yeah, I feel sorry for Mark Magsayo, though, because there's a bunch of orders for fights that came through. Man, Gary Russell Jr. is about to annihilate Mark Magsayo. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Mark Magsayo is, but Mark Magsayo is a Filipino fighter that was fighting on the undercard of the man, what undercard was he on? He's on the undercard. Oh, he was on the undercard of the Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas fight, and this dude was getting waxed and wound up getting a knockout, like knocking the guy out, and eventually winning the fight. And they made him a mandatory. Man, that dude is going to get waxed, absolutely waxed, man. My man John Mayfield in the building said, Fannon, the real problem in boxing is fighters fight everyone, but once they get the belts, it's cherry pick time, without a doubt, and they don't do rematches. I think you need more rematches in boxing. Just because you beat a guy once doesn't mean you're gonna beat him twice. You know what I mean? Tennis don't work like that. Just because you beat a guy once doesn't mean you'll never beat him. You can absolutely whack somebody in tennis and then have a bad day and they beat you. You may beat them 9 out of 10 times, but trust me, you can have an off day and one of them guys can get that top person. And styles make matchups. You know what I mean? But if you never see rematch, like that's why Teofimo Lopez don't want Vasily Lomachenko. He's not winning that rematch. I'm telling you, Teofimo Lopez is not going to win that Vasily Lomachenko rematch. Vasily Lomachenko going to go at that dude from the first round. He's going to get the first 3 rounds in the belt in the bag. He's going to cruise for maybe 3 rounds. 3 rounds, then he's going to pick up the pace again towards the end, and he's going to beat Vasily Lomachenko. I could write the script of that fight. That's why Teofimo Lopez don't want Lomachenko, because he'll lose that fight. He lost the second half of that fight. That dude was coming on big time in that, like popping his head back, bop, bop, bop. It's crazy. And you can see it just by the matchup, you know, and how they fight. Angie said, Teo not making these dates, Thriller is just messing his name up. Not to say he has nothing to do with it, but these promoters these days are just jokes. Hey man, Teofimo ain't selling. That's what that is. Teofimo Lopez's tickets are not selling. Thriller, after that Teofimo Lopez Vasily Lomachenko fight, and ESPN named Vasily Lomachenko a star. I mean, named Teofimo a star, and he's now the big, 3 belt holder at lightweight. Thriller thought he was a big star, and he's not a big star. He just had a breakthrough. He had a breakthrough, but once you break through, you got to capitalize on the breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez is like where Floyd Mayweather Jr. was when Floyd Mayweather Jr. beat Arturo Gatti. If Floyd Mayweather Jr. had beaten Arturo Gatti and then refused to fight anybody else, where would his career gone? It wouldn't have. He would have never got where he would have never got where he got to if he would have stopped after his first breakthrough fight. Because that was Floyd Mayweather's breakthrough fight. It wasn't. And on top of that, he had to have a whole bunch of fights to prove himself before he even got to his breakout fight. But Teofimo Lopez got his breakout fight early out of Top Rank, and then Triller thought they had a star, and they don't have they don't have a star. They got a name. Teofimo Lopez is not that much bigger. He's not any bigger a star than Devin Haney is, in my opinion. There ain't too many people that know Devin. How many people know Teofimo Lopez that don't know Devin Haney? You know what I'm saying? Like, is his name recognition something that is so, he's not synonymous with greatness. But if he fought these guys, then maybe he would be, But he's actually got to fight him, Hustle said, yeah, Fannon Loma kills Lopez in a rematch. He's not getting out of that rematch. I'm telling you. And I don't care who it is. You can make a hate video about me if you want to. I know you guys. And the crazy thing is, I know you actually listen. Like, I thought after I went away for a month and didn't make videos and all that stuff, you cornballs would forget about me. But I see you still doing videos about what I say. I'm telling you right now, Teofimo Lopez, ain't no way he's beating Lomachenko in that rematch. Ain't no way. Not unless that rematch, not unless he waits a year and a half for that rematch. Because I'm telling you, I think Lomachenko got that number on him. Wes Whistlet said, Teo is a good fighter, but damn, he does some bad business. Well, look, man, I can understand why he went with Triller, but he forced that. He forced the purse big because he wanted more money. Yeah, he's big on forcing the money, and he's getting a lot of money out of Triller for this fight. But I do think he's going to wind up paying the piper when it comes to his relationship with Top Rank. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if Top Rank tried to set him up. And the only guy that they really have to set him up with, though, is Vasily Lomachenko. Angie said, whose fault it is that the card had fights on it? Should it think I think it would sell better, but you're right, no doubt. But one okay fight doesn't sell a crap card. Not if you're paying the guy whatever amount of money, what, $4 million? I think, isn't he getting like $4 million for that fight? He's getting like what Sean Porter's getting for Vasily Loma, what Sean Porter is getting for Terrence Crawford. And he's getting big money for that fight. So he made himself some money, man. He said his father gassed him up and he's a drunk. I'm not sure who you're talking about. You're talking about Teofimo Lopez's father. I'm not going to talk bad about Teofimo Lopez's father because Teofimo Lopez's father talked bad about me and the dude, and I ain't never said nothing bad about the guy. And I don't think I've ever said anything bad about Vasily Lomachenko. I don't think I said anything bad about Teofimo Lopez either. And they had something to say about me, man. That's just, like, it's funny, man. People are real funny. Damon Wester said, Marty. Call me Marty. The problem is that these platforms think everybody should be on pay-per-view. It's not big enough because people don't know these fighters. Give them some soap commercials or build them up. Yeah, I agree with it. But that's where boxing is. Everybody wants to be a pay-per-view star. And their goal is to be on pay-per-view. That's what they want. See, Raleigh Romero says that. My goal is to be a pay-per-view star. My goal is to be a pay-per-view star. So the fighters want pay-per-view, right? I don't know how well it's going to pan out for Raleigh Romero, but that's what they want because that's what Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a pay-per-view star. Before that, people wanted to be on closed circuit. Everybody wants to make the big money. But not a lot of these guys want to fight the best guy that's out there to say that they're the best. And they will duck the tar out of the best fighter. And boxing's okay with that, man. The boxing media is okay with it. What's going on, Richard Hill? How you feeling this morning, man? Fabian Diaz said Kambosos has been disrespected too much. I hope he puts Teofimo on the canvas. Kambosos is about to get jawed. Okay? Kambosos is about to get jawed. That's what I think. I haven't even seen Kambosos fight, though. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Quincy Carter said, I don't know, Fannon. Teo hurt Lomachenko bad late in that fight. Much love in that super chat. Hold on one second, man. I forgot completely. Hold Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you for the support, man. I really do appreciate it, man. Pickett Sports said, morning, my guy. What's good with you, man? Richard Hill said, good morning. Noop, what's happening, Noop? I hope everything's well with you, man. Fanon, what's Mayweather going to do with Tank once they run out of Latin fighters? They're not going to run out. They haven't fought. Dude, they're not going to run out of them. Ain't no way. They will never run out of Hugo Chavez's. They got a Hugo Chavez coming out of Argentina, coming out of El Salvador or Guatemala. They got all kind of South American countries to pick from. He'll never run out of them. Trust me. He will never run out until people start getting on him about it. Once people start getting on him, then they'll make a change. But right now, nobody's getting on him. You know what I mean? Because it's really just gotten to the point where it's too much for me. Like as somebody that's a fan of Gervonta Davis and knows Gervonta Davis is a good fighter, and because I really do believe he's the best guy, he's the most talented and probably the best skilled fighter at lightweight. But right now, dude, it's too much, man. I mean, you can't pull after Mario Barrios. That's it. Okay, like Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Hugo Chavez. Like, come on, man. At a certain point in time, dude, fight a black fighter. It's getting ridiculous. I can't be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Well, I can be, but I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. And I didn't see him really get hurt in that fight though. At JTA 1776 said too much talking and no fighting. I think Loma beats Teo and Devin. Loma beats Teo and Devin beats all of them, including Ryan. Much love in that super chat, man. Okay, that's a possibility, but I'm telling you, if they make that fight, do not be surprised, dude, if Lomachenko steps on him. Now, to the other point that was made, said that Lomachenko hurt Teofimo hurt Lopez late in that fight. I didn't see that. I didn't see it. I saw Lomachenko stepping on the gas and having stepped on the gas a little too late. And I saw Teofimo Lopez's head start bop, 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 changing angles on him, bop, bop, bop. I saw him, honestly, man, kind of roughing up Lomachenko, really roughing him up in the last half of the fight. But Teofimo Lopez had him at bay the first half of the fight. But you might be right, man. I might have to go back and look at that fight again, and see that, man. Chewy Coronado said, good morning. Have you heard Oscar offer Mayweather $100 million to fight? Yeah, I saw that, man. It ain't happening. It is not going to happen, dude. And honestly, please don't happen. Will you just stop? I want to see the next star, man. Seriously. I don't think there's going to be a next major star in boxing until Floyd Mayweather Jr. turns 70. Because until then, he's not going to be able to kind of like fill in the gaps with these YouTube stars, man. I'm blaming YouTube stars on Floyd. Said, hey, Quincy Carter said he hurt Loma bad in the 11th with the left hook. Much love in that super chat. All right, I'll go back and look. It's been a long time since I saw the fight. So I'll go back and look, man. But it's been a long time since I saw that fight, man. Said Ryan is on PEDs. He can't be in the top 5. He got to get caught, man. Ryan got to get caught. Until you get caught, there's nothing I can say. And honestly, man, he don't look like he's juicing any more than Teofimo Lopez looks like he's juicing. But until they get caught, I can't put it on them. Once they get caught, put it on. I'm gonna put it on them for the rest of their career. But until they get caught, you know what I mean? Steve Jackson said, do a live rewatch of Teofimo versus Lomachenko. Man, I used to do that. That is so tiring, man. To watch a whole fight like that. I don't know, man. I think I'm getting old, man. Smile back if you're ugly. That's me. Well, he did encourage the YouTube stars by fighting one. He's responsible for the fights, man. He's not, dude. I think he's involved in those fights, in the actual making and promoting of those fights. He's not. dude, they didn't get a contract with Showtime without Floyd Mayweather Jr. being involved, man. Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought the pause. He let them in there and did that whole act with him taking his hat and all of that stuff. Floyd's part of that, man. I would be very surprised if Floyd's not getting some money behind that. If he's not like an executive producer behind them shenanigans. RSA Boxing Life, man. Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you guys so much for supporting in the super chat. He says, salute, good brother. Great chat. When is Mikey going to fight? He's becoming a commentator. He's supposed to be fighting some guy whose name I can't remember in October, I think. I think he's about to go back to training camp. I'm pretty sure he's going back to training camp. So it should be pretty soon. It's not, but you know, the funny thing is, he told the truth about why he's not fighting Regis Prograis. He said DAZN didn't have the budget. Isn't that crazy? DAZN didn't have the budget for Mikey Garcia versus Regis Prograis. I guarantee you, dude, Regis Prograis ain't making $2 million a fight. Mikey Garcia might get $3 million for the fight. I bet you they didn't have $4 million, a budget of $4 million at DAZN for a fight between Regis Prograis and Mikey Garcia. If that does not tell you that DAZN is done with American boxing, nothing else is gonna, dude. That is what you call a contractual obligation. That's what that fight is. I'm sure that they gave Matchroom a certain number of fights in the United States, and they are going with the minimum. They're going with the minimum fights that they can get away with, and that's it, man. And that is just, it's crazy. Mikey Garcia kind of looks like he's kind of semi-retired, but he's not a lightweight. He's at 140 pounds, man. Mikey Garcia doesn't look like he's really, super into it. Right? I think he's kind of going through the motions in his career, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? Christopher A. Deuce. A. Deuce. What the heck? Christopher Side Dude Miracan said Lance Armstrong didn't get caught in his cycling career, though. No, he got caught afterwards. He got caught. He wound up getting caught. So he got caught. Look, man, I can't say that. Look, that's only so much criticism I'm going to do of fighters. I'm not going to call a guy a steroid cheat if he didn't get caught. It's just not fair, because I don't believe all these guys are. I believe all the stuff that people say about everybody being on juice in boxing, everybody being on juice. I don't believe that. I think that that's an excuse that fans of certain fighters make for why their guy popped dirty. They just turn around and say, well, everybody's doing it. And I don't believe everybody's doing it. A lot of people are doing it, but I don't believe everybody's doing it. And some of these guys, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to guys until they get caught. You know, I gave the benefit of the doubt to Canelo Alvarez till he got caught. I gave the benefit of the doubt to Oscar Valdez before he got caught. But I saw Oscar Valdez before, and I thought that about Oscar Valdez. Just off how he's built. You know, Anthony Joshua. I look at Anthony Joshua like, man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here, dude. You're like, what are you, 6'5", 290? With absolutely no body fat? I don't believe it. And then he thins down. I don't believe it. You know? And here's the thing. He couldn't get much bigger on. I don't know what he would do if he was on steroids. There's some pictures of Anthony Joshua when he was at his biggest, which are just ludicrous. How big that guy is, man. And he's saying he slimmed down. Yeah, he probably got up off that juice, you know. But yeah, I hope Mikey fights pretty soon. Mikey's a good fighter, man. Real good fighter. I hate that we didn't get Lomachenko, him versus Lomachenko. Steven Jackson said, Mike is a dangerous fight for Tank, but only because of experience. Yeah, but Tank don't belong at 140. I think Mikey Garcia is a legitimate 140-pound fighter, and I don't think Tank really belongs at 140. Tank looks so small in the ring against Mario Barrios that I'm like, man, please don't continue to do that. Get on the route of fighting the guys at 135. I wish he would just get with fighting the guys at 135. And I'm hoping at a certain point in time, then Mayweather and those guys are going to try to make a fight for him. That is a great fight and a big fight at the same time, right? But they're doing an Anthony Joshua with them, clearly. You know? What's going on? Javier said, maybe them UK black fighters built different. Man, get it. Dillian White is on juice. Look at how Dillian White looks on. Look how Dillian White's juicing. Look at Dillian White and look at AJ. And Dillian White is juicing. Dillian White has been tested positive on multiple occasions for performance-enhancing drugs. Tyson Fury has tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. And AJ, look at AJ. AJ is getting them therapeutic use exemptions. The therapeutic use exemptions, like saying he's got low testosterone, and they're letting him do it. That's what Big Baby Miller said was going on when Big Baby Miller juiced to the ceiling to get in there, to try to get in there with AJ, man. He said he was getting therapeutic use exemptions. Gino was there and said Manny Pacquiao retired and is running for president of the Philippines. Man, he's wishy-washy, man. He'll probably be back. He'll be back. If he loses that election, he'll be back. I don't believe it, man. They said he's retired. I don't believe it. Immediately thereafter, some spokesman came forward and said, no, he has not officially announced his retirement. You know, he's still considering it. So he probably has a lot of guys that are still trying to push him to fight to get some more of that money. Like, please don't stop Manny. And I think Manny's going to keep on going, man. Tank skipped 135 for a reason. He didn't skip 135. He fought, yeah, he did. Well, no, he skipped back. He fought, what's his name? Yuriorkis Gamboa at legit 135, man. You know, he fought him at there, man. Do I think Tank is too small for 140? Yes, I do. Absolutely. I think his arm's too short to box with God. That's what I think. And I kind of believe what Gary Russell Jr. said. If he gets in there with somebody that's long enough and tall enough and who's got good defense and can stay away from him, I think he can get outboxed. Anybody that fights him even at 140 that exchanges with him can get knocked out. Because Gervonta Davis is a super talent, man. His hands are extremely fast. His defense is very, very solid, man. Very underrated defense, especially on the inside. But you saw that he had problem with the length. He even had problems with the length of Leo Santa Cruz, you know? So I think that length gives him problems. You know what I'm saying? Manny versus Errol Spence Jr. is not happening, man. I think that's a wrap, man. I think that's a wrap. And honestly, man, he would have got waxed in that fight. He would have absolutely got waxed in that fight if he hadn't. What is that? I said with that 700 million of 750 milligrams of IV. I bet it was. What are you talking about? Are you talking about some drink? Is that VI? You talking about some type of Ciroc or something like that? Or are you talking about 750 milligrams of what? Of an IV for Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Man, y'all, I hope that's not what you're talking about. Floyd never got caught, man, so you got to keep that off of Floyd's head, man. Floyd never got caught on juice, so people got to keep that off his head, man. He didn't do it, man. He didn't do it. Let me move back a little bit, man. Bearcat Hampton said Mikey is fighting Sandor Martin next. Said he wants Regis Prograis, but DAZN couldn't come up with the money. Exactly. That's telling you that DAZN is out of there. DAZN is gone. Hey, man, let me check. We got 450 people in the building. Do we got 300 likes, man? Come on, man. Let's get the likes over 400, man. We got like 400. We got 460 people in the building, man. Come on, man. Let's get the likes up. Would be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated, man. My man, Wolfie, once said, Canelo was exonerated by the Nevada Boxing Commission after hair follicle submission. Okay. Was he? I never heard of that. I keep hearing that. I've never heard that. I've only recently started hearing people come up with that. He got suspended and they did not let him off suspension, man. So when did that happen? Because I know he served his 6-month suspension for the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Did they exonerate him after he spent his 6 months? Because he did not fight for 6 months. He was suspended by Nevada State Athletic Commission for 6 months. 6 month suspension, and he waited 6 months and he fought. I don't know, man. I think you guys are spread. I think whoever told you that, I don't know, man. I think that matter of fact, I know they're spreading a myth. Canelo Alvarez tested positive performance-enhancing drugs. Canelo Alvarez served his suspension for performance-enhancing drugs because Canelo Alvarez was on performance-enhancing drugs. Okay, and that's just it. And if you don't think he's on, if you buy the if you buy the hamburger meat thing, then you buy the burger meat thing. But he didn't get exonerated by the WBC. They just said it was consistent with meat contamination. You know what I mean? Said Mo City said they changed the levels and he still popped dirty. Now worse. They changed the levels after he popped dirty. It was in reverse order. They changed it afterwards. Man, what's going on? Unadulterated truth in the building. Said, good morning, Martin. If Canelo was exonerated, his team would have been shouting that from the mountaintops the past few years. Yeah, people just be careful, man. They just pull shit out their behinds, man. These guys that want to argue when they don't have cases, they will make shit up, and they will just like Deontay Wilder's got metal in his arm, and they'll say anything about it, man. Steven Jackson said Floyd never juiced based on when he fought Oscar at 154. Floyd weighed 148 pounds. I don't believe he juiced, but he had to get caught, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt until they get caught. But once you get caught, that's a wrap, dog. You know what I'm saying? Then once you get caught, Deuce Kilder said, who would you like to see Tank Davis fight next? Teofimo Lopez. I'd like to see him fight Teofimo Lopez next. Honestly, man, I like everybody. The person that I want to see fight next at lightweight for everybody is Teofimo Lopez. I don't care who it is. If it's Devin Haney, if I could pick Devin Haney's next fight, I would say fight Teofimo Lopez. If I could pick, except for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, I'd have fight Devin Haney. I would have Riley Romero fight Devin Haney. I would have Teofimo Lopez. I'd actually have Teofimo Lopez fight Devin Haney too. That's probably the first one. But Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis. If there was a way to make that fight, but honestly, man, I think the most deserving of that Teofimo Lopez fight is Devin Haney. I think that is probably the number one fight that I would make it lightweight right away. Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, because that just gets a lot of stuff out of the way at lightweight if they fight. Was he really suspended 6 months because I thought that him and Gigi was supposed to fight in May on Cinco de Mayo, but they had to fight in September? Yeah, but they backdated it to when his test was. He tested positive a month before the fight was Big Demon. He said that's not 6 months. They suspended him from the date of the test, not from the date of the fight, from the date of the test. And the test I think was in like February. Like I think they were supposed to fight in May. The test he popped dirty in February, so they suspended him from February, not from May. So that's the 6 month. It dates from February, and he definitely served that suspension, man. Unadulterated Truth said, I'm not a big IG guy, but I followed you on there yesterday. Going to touch base with you soon regarding a project I'm working on. Would like to run something by you if I can. Absolutely, man. No doubt about it, man. For sure. Hit me on the DM. Hit me on direct message on Instagram, and we can holler at it. Fannon, do you think Shakur Stevenson is in their class, or what are your thoughts? Oh, yeah, absolutely. If he gets to lightweight, yeah, he may be better than all of them. Shakur Stevenson is definitely in their class. The question is, for me, is he better than all of them? Because I think he could be better than all of them, depending on what he does. Like, I've seen a lot of improvement in him. I think he's got nice power. He's a very, very highly skilled fighter. All around a terrific fighter. I think there's a chance that Shakur Stevenson might be better than everybody at lightweight. As soon as he gets there, as soon as he gets into that weight division, that's another one. Same thing for Chris Colbert. Once Chris Colbert gets into lightweight, they get out of 130 and get into lightweight. Absolutely. I think Shakur Stevenson, I would favor Shakur Stevenson over Teofimo Lopez. Provided, if he sizes up and all that stuff well, I take Shakur Stevenson over Devin Haney. I would take him over Ryan Garcia. I would definitely take him over Rolly Romero. Definitely take him over Rolly Romero. But like I say, you got to wait until he gets into the weight division because he's moving up another weight division. But I have a suspicion that he is big enough to fight at lightweight. And he's probably going to end his career at like lightweight or 140, man. Ty McDowell said, I was about to say, what about Chris? Yeah, Chris Colbert too. I ain't forgetting Chris Colbert. The mainstream media might forget about Chris Colbert. I'm not going to forget about Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert is the truth, man. And I would love to see Chris Colbert versus Oscar Valdez. Terrell Williams, why am I crazy? Okay, I am crazy. Now what? What am I wrong about? Crazy people can be right. You know what I'm saying? Crazy people ain't wrong just because they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Paranoid people ain't wrong. Somebody may be paranoid, but that don't mean they're wrong. What am I wrong about? I would love to hear. Marcel Nouveau said, do you think Usyk can beat AJ? Yes, he can beat him. He can beat him. Will he beat him is something else. I think he's going to have to really beat AJ to get that decision because they're fighting in the UK. And in the UK with AJ is real funny with them scorecards. And I'm also going to tell you, he better not get buzzed. If the second he gets buzzed, they're going to stop the fight. That's the risk that Alexander Usyk has. Because in the UK, just period, they stop fights real fast when you get wobbled. And I think they do that for everybody. I'm not saying that they're going to do that just for AJ, but I've noticed, dude, they without a doubt will go ahead and will call a fight early. So if he gets buzzed, don't be surprised if he gets done like Carlos Takam and they stop that fight. Because they have proven that they can be a little bit crooked, man. You know what I mean? User G123 said, Fannon, I love your energy. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back full energy and everything, man. Like I said, dog, a lot of people don't know, dude. I had some real serious health problems for about a month and a half, man. It really got on me. So I took some time off. And even when I came back, I was still really, really low energy, right? Until everything, got back right. But, boom, we back at it, man. So since we back at it, let's get the likes up, man. We got 435 people in the building. We got 216 people, 216 likes, man. Can we get the likes up? It would be greatly appreciated, man. He said, crazy like a fox. I see. Yeah, he said, you crazy like a fox. He said, I see Usyk getting smashed into corned beef hash. Hey, man, with a one-punch shot, but not, I don't know. I got more faith in Usyk. I got faith in Usyk. I think Usyk is a very, very solid fighter. He's got fast hands, but he can't fight like he fought against Cruz. Tap, 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 tap. If he's just tapping Anthony Joshua and he's not sitting down on his punches and AJ can just walk through his punches and start letting them fly, then Alexander Usyk is going to be in some trouble. But if Alexander Usyk can stay and can outbox him, he's going to have to outbox him for 12 rounds. You know what I mean? Wait for Anthony Joshua to get tired, and by all means, stay away from that uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Christopher Side Dude Mirakan said GGG ate up DAZN's funds $90 million and fought not even part-time menu log delivery guys. Yeah. Oh, you know who killed their budget was Canelo. When they could not sign, Canelo killed his own. That's what I think. And he was right to do it. They gave him all that money. They were paying that dude like $25 million a fight for nothing. And they weren't getting, and people would sign up. People would sign up for the fight. And right after they signed up for the fight, they would get rid of the subscription, and they wouldn't watch any of the rest of it. So they considered it like a pay-per-view. It was like a pay-per-view for him, and that's about it, man. Zooty Head War Robots Gamer said, hey man, shout out to everybody, all the new people in the chat that I've not seen before. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. All the top boxers avoiding each other like the plague. Boxing is all about the 0 losses. Man, well, they need to hurry up and lose then. Because then they have to go back out and fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, like, except for, I guess, if you're Keith Thurman. Because Keith Thurman is defending his 1. Keith Thurman act like he don't want to get 2 losses. Walter Wright said, I'm glad that God has blessed you to be back. Thanks, man. Yeah, and it took something, man. I'm telling you. It was not, it was not without trials and tribulations. Trust me. You know what I mean? Deuce Killer said, your child is exciting, bro. Keep them videos coming. I'm supporting you from Houston, Texas. Deuce Killer, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Absolutely appreciate you, man. Jim McMiller said AJ by stoppage in the 7th round. If he's going to do it, I think it would be around then. If he's going to do it. But, man, that would be crushing, wouldn't it? There's certain guys out there that would be crushed if Alexander Usyk got knocked out by AJ. But AJ, I don't think it's going to be that easy a fight. I'll put it this way. If AJ gets rid of Alexander Usyk, I will give AJ a lot more credit as a fighter. Because I do believe this is the toughest fight of his career. I mean, maybe the Vladimir Klitschko, but that's because AJ is chinny. Alexander Usyk is going to have to bring something. He's going to have to really do something to beat Anthony Joshua. He's going to have to be able to hurt Anthony Joshua. And if he can't hurt Anthony Joshua, then I think he might get washed, because AJ is a fundamentally sound fighter, man. T Stan said, people trying to question AJ's chin. Lennox Lewis got knocked the F out twice, and he got knocked down twice and was rocked. Oh, he got knocked out twice and was rocked a few times. Yeah, because he had a bad chin. That's not going to stay. People question Lennox Lewis's chin. Lennox Lewis got a funny chin. AJ's got a funny chin, man. AJ gets wobbly now. Don't act like AJ don't do the wobble now. AJ does the wobble. He got knocked down 4 times, dude, by Andy Ruiz. He got knocked down a couple times by Vladimir Klitschko, and I do believe he got hurt by Dillian White. But at the same time, dude, he's fighting heavyweights. So the guys that are hitting can crack. All these guys can get hurt. There is no invincible heavyweight, man. No, there is no invincible heavyweight, which is what I find so funny about this Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight, where these guys act like there ain't no way under the sun that this guy can get hurt, man. Anyway, man, let's shift back to the lightweights, man. You British guys are forcing me on to this AJ fight, which is honestly, man, some funniness, man, and not a lot of people care about. Said Stevenson is a tap fighter. He's still a baby. He's not on the level of Garcia, Lopez, or Haney. Oh, absolutely he is. Absolutely he is. He is absolutely on the level of Garcia, Lopez, and Haney, man. That dude he's better than Ryan Garcia. I mean, I don't get that, man. He's better than Ryan Garcia. For sure, he's better than Ryan Garcia. I think he's better than Devin Haney. He's got as much punch power as Devin Haney does. See, Fannon, doesn't AJ have a fight coming up? Nobody has interest in that. None. In the United States, zilch, zero, not a bit. And I'm telling you, I got a boxing channel, so I know. Nobody cares. It is absolutely off the radar, and it's coming up this weekend, isn't it? I think it's this weekend. It's just, dude, the hype is dead, man. The hype is dead on AJ. In the United States, it's just what happens, man. He should have fought Deontay. If he wanted to be a star in the United States, all he had to do was fight Deontay Wilder. But they didn't want to go for the gusto, man. They wanted to sit back and safe and play all these stupid games, man. And I'm going to tell you, too, don't think AJ's fighting Tyson Fury. I don't believe it. Even if Tyson Fury would have beat Deontay Wilder, which I'm telling you, I hope he doesn't. But if he was able to win that fight, do not think Tyson Fury and AJ are fighting anytime soon. They're going to have all kind of arguments about the money and who the A side is. Tyson Fury is going to be talking about how he's Yeah, he's the greatest fighter ever, and he's not taking short. All that money talk, the money talk for that fight is going to be worse than the money talk was for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. AJ is going to, and Eddie Hearn are going to hide behind we're the A side, and they are not going to make that fight. And there's not going to be enough money to make that fight in the UK if Tyson Fury insists on, if Tyson Fury ain't taking 50-50. I'm telling you. He's not going to take 50-50. He ain't going to do it. Tyson Fury's got a gigantic ego. He's not taking anything. He ain't taking anything less than 50-50. He took 50-50 with Deontay Wilder coming off a 2-year layoff and got 50-50. He's not taking 50-50 with Anthony Joshua. I'm telling you. No way. And they don't have the money in the UK to make the fight. I'm telling you, you guys don't pay attention to shit. And I'm going to tell you guys that just straight up as UK fans. And you troll channels that always got something to say about me. You guys don't think through. You guys don't think things through. Seriously, do not think things through. I told you 2 years ago, at least 2 years ago, that the money for boxing is in the United States. For a heavyweight fight to do $100 million, that fight has got to be in the United States of America. It cannot be in the UK. You will never see a $100 million fight in the UK. If AJ and Tyson Fury wanted to have a gigantic fight, they would need that fight to be in Las Vegas. But the problem is that neither one of them are fascinating to American fight fans. When they said that AJ was going to be this big star in the United States, we told you he's not going to be a big star in the United States unless he fights Deontay Wilder. And AJ got caught, and Tyson Fury got caught cheating. And like I was listening to, and like I said, I don't want to, I'm trying to get out of the business, and I owe apologies to YouTube channels, like certain media channels that I used to talk really bad about. I'd like to openly apologize for using your name early when I was doing videos. I won't do that anymore because I understand, like I got a better perspective on that shit now. But, you know, somebody was talking about, AJ's Deontay Wilder and nobody being interested in the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight and calling Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury's fan base a cult, right? And I'm like, man, look, dude, that's not a cult. It's a fan base, man. You can't tell me the man has a fan base. He cultivated a fan base from the ground up. If you look at what he does with going to the LDBC channels and doing interviews there, do not underestimate Deontay Wilder's popularity with black fight fans. He has a lot of popularity with black fight fans, and they've seen him screwed over so many times that they're probably not going to leave him. You've had the fair weather fans leave him, but his fan base is there, dude. Manny Pacquiao fans support Manny Pacquiao. No matter how many times Manny Pacquiao has lost, Manny Pacquiao still has a core fan base of people that support him. Arturo Gatti, no matter how many times Arturo Gatti lost, Arturo Gatti had a fan base of people that supported him. I'm telling you, Deontay Wilder has a core fan base that support him. And when you think of him as just a bunch of YouTube channels that are dude, that's not true. You know what I mean? It's not true. If it was true, he would have never had big fights with Tyson Fury. And I'm telling you, it's only going to take a win for them to be back regardless, because Deontay Wilder is actually an exciting fighter. He's an engaging person. He's an exciting fighter that is willing to take tough fights. That's not what you have in a lot of boxers, dude. The only other people you really got like that in boxing right now, at least from what I can see, is Vasily Lomachenko, because I think Vasily Lomachenko will fight anybody, right? I think that Devin Haney, but Devin Haney hasn't gotten there yet. I think that Devin Haney would fight anybody. I don't think he's going to go Hollywood. You know what I mean? And Errol Spence Jr. will fight anybody, with the exception of Keith Thurman, right? Those are the type of guys. Those are the only ones that are really doing that. These other guys are getting belts and getting notoriety and stuff and turning into prima donnas. And people appreciate Deontay Wilder, man. And I'm telling you, he is the most popular heavyweight there is in the United States. So for you guys to think you're getting a Tyson, I'm telling you, you think you're getting to some big Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight, you're not getting it. You're not getting it in the UK. I'm telling you, they'll spin their wheels on that shit for 5 years. They will sell you the fight for at least 3 bum fights for each of them. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Tyson Fury will fight a bum. Then he will fight another bum. Then he will fight another bum. Anthony Joshua will fight a bum. Then he will fight another bum. Then he will fight another bum. And each time they're going to be going back and selling each one of those bum fights off of the potential of them fighting. Do you not see how this repeats itself in boxing? All they're going to do on you UK fans is move into Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather mode and sell a bunch of fights off of the potential of that fight taking place and not put either one of those guys' belts at risk. And they're going to take you through that for 3 years. And you still may not get the fight. I'm telling you, that's what you're going to get because they don't have the money to make the fight in the UK, but they do have the money to make smaller fights for each of them in the UK. If Tyson Fury is able to get his boxing license and all of that stuff, then he can make a big fight I guess he could go to the O2 Arena. He could go to the O2 Arena. I don't think either one of them going back to Wembley anytime soon, but they could go to the O2 Arena and sell fights over there in the UK, right? He could go over there and sell fights in the UK, but they do not have the money in the ticket sales or in the pay-per-view for them to make that fight. They would have to say that they were going over there to Saudi Arabia. And I still don't believe that's Saudi Arabia money. Don't believe it. You guys, they're always selling how much money AJ's making. I don't believe it. Because if Eddie Hearn, if he was making $50 million a fight, Eddie Hearn would say $100 million because Eddie Hearn is a promoter and he's going to say it's a lot more than it actually is. And Vladimir's dad said, Fannon, doesn't AJ have a fight coming up? Nobody has interest in that at all. No, not a chance. Oh, I guess that's what I was just talking about, man. Let me go down a little bit further, man. Young Hustle said, Prograis beats Tank. He's only been floating flat-footed fighters. Yeah, but you don't have to worry about seeing that, man. I'm telling you right now. You ain't got to worry about that fight happening. Everybody's avoid. That's a ducked fighter. Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis ain't getting, those guys don't want that smoke. I would honestly love to see a rematch with Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis. But it's not going to happen. Who's trained by Kenny Porter? Malik Montgomery, who is trained by Kenny Porter, fought over the weekend and threw almost 2,000 punches in the 10th round? No way. Oh, in a 10-round fight. Man, that's a lot. I got to go check that out, man. I got to see. You know what, dude? I'm going to dedicate myself to watching more of those fights because I know I'm missing some up and coming fighters early that are really good fighters, man. But whoever was talking that about Shakur Stevenson, dude, you better wonder if any of those guys can beat Shakur Stevenson. I'm telling you, Shakur Stevenson is like that, man. Like that. And by the way, I saw Shakur Stevenson give Devin Haney the business in a sparring match. So if they developed at the same, if Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney have matured at the same rate, I'm taking Shakur Stevenson. Because when I saw that sparring match, I'm trying to tell you, you guys saw that, man. Shakur Stevenson handled him, man. And it was obvious he was handling him. Obviously handling him. Same thing that Gervonta Davis did to Teofimo Lopez. You cannot tell me that Teofimo Lopez is in any rush at all to get in the ring with Gervonta Davis, man. Because Gervonta Davis was giving that man the business in sparring. In the sections that I saw, I don't think that he wants that smoke, man. Look, let's see. We got 300. Man, look, we got 426 people in the building. 271 likes, man. Come on, man. Let's get the likes up over 300 if you would not mind. Haney will pick him apart. Nah, he's going to come forward against Shakur. He'll have to come forward against Shakur. In the fight between Shakur and Devin Haney, Shakur is going to, I promise you, Devin Haney is going to come forward. He's going to come forward more than Shakur Stevenson is going to come forward. That's what I would see him being more of a high guard because Shakur Stevenson has got faster hands. He's got faster hands. I think he's got, or maybe Shakur could walk him. I don't know, walk him down. It'll be good to see though. Hopefully we get a chance to see that though. A. Kashmir said, I don't trust AJ's chin. Not at all. But, he's fighting a cruiserweight. He's going to have to get beat up. I will tell you, Alexander Usyk's got to go in there and try to beat him up a little bit, man. Get his respect, man. Hey, Fannon, Canelo's deal was $300 million for 11 fights. Yeah, it was like just under $30 million a fight. And ain't nobody signed up and stayed the zone for Canelo out. And they weren't even good fights. What they did was Canelo Alvarez got over, man. I am thoroughly convinced Canelo Alvarez got over. Canelo Alvarez and them people told a lie, which was that Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez fight did a million pay-per-views. They told that lie. I don't think it did a million pay-per-views, dude. I don't think it did. But after he had the Gennady Golovkin fights, those were his biggest fights of his career other than Floyd Mayweather Jr. And so once they had those and HBO left boxing, DAZN was desperate to snatch Canelo because they couldn't get any of the other fighters. They were having a really hard time signing anybody. But when HBO went under and Canelo, it was a bidding war on Canelo. And they went very, very high on, and I said it at the time, in order for DAZN to get Canelo Alvarez, they would have to offer Canelo Alvarez what Canelo Alvarez made in his pay-per-views. They would have to offer him that per fight. And that's what they did. They gave him a guarantee of his pay-per-view numbers. And he got paid for I don't know how many fights. I think he might be done, right? So, and he said 2 more fights and he was out. But so he got that 20 or 30 million dollars, what it was, every fight for the 11 fights. And they just poured money and thinking that everybody was going to come over there because Canelo was over there. They had the budget to do it. Daniel Davies, you're a liar, Fannon. Okay, I admit it. The dog did not eat my homework. But what did I lie about in boxing? I would love to know. Mr. Daniel Davies, what's the lie? There's a whole lot of boxing channels lying now. Since we want to do that. There are a whole bunch of boxing channels that are lying out of their ass. Absolutely. However, I would like to understand where this lie is that I got. You know what I'm saying? Where the lies from me coming from. Would love to know where my lies are coming from. Pro Gray is flat-footed. Yeah, he's flat-footed. He can still fight. There's a whole bunch of, but he ain't that flat-footed. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I missed it. Man, what's going on, X-Wolf, man? X-Wolf, he said, how many pay-per-views Canelo Plant going to sell? 600,000. Much love in that super chat. About 600,000. Maybe 600,000. 600,000. Something. If they do 600,000, I think that'll be it. If they do 600,000. I don't think, and they got to do that at $100 a pop. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to move the price up. In order to make that, they're gonna have to move the price up. 600,000, something like that on 600,000. I don't think it's gonna do $1 million. Canelo ain't pulling on $1 million. He ain't pulling on $1 million pay-per-view by himself. And Caleb Plant is, Caleb Plant ain't that big a fighter, and you can tell for the buzz on the fight. The buzz on the fight is not that big. It's a good fight that I want to see, but it's not like he's fighting, let's say Jamal Charlo. I think if he wants to do that, they got to build a fight for him. Hopefully with him going over to the Showtime and DAZN pulling out, because he ain't going back to DAZN. He ain't going back to DAZN. Hopefully they're into it to build a fight for him, man. Terrell Williams, what's your thoughts on Tevin Farmer? I want to see him again. One loss against JoJo Diaz and he disappeared. I want to see him again. And I don't even know if he's been training that actively, man. I've been looking at his tweets and he's saying he's not even paying that much attention to boxing. I think Tevin Farmer needed a rest, man. But he made out like a bandit over there on DAZN, fighting all those fights that he got in a real, back to back like that. They claim it's 1.1 for Canelo versus GGG2. The first one didn't even sell that much. Yeah, I didn't believe it because Oscar De La Hoya said it 5 minutes after the fight. That's where they got the number from. Oscar De La Hoya said, yeah, that did. Oh, it did over 1.1 million. So they throw it out there in the media, and the media picks it up and takes it. They never actually announced what that was really going to be. You know what I mean? I think they got, man. And honestly, dude, I don't think Canelo Alvarez is as big a star as they say he is. I do believe that he's probably the most popular fighter in boxing. Like, if you look at everybody and how popular and what everybody would sell, I do believe Canelo Alvarez is the number one seller in boxing. But I don't think he's not as big as they say they are. He's not as big as they act like he is. He's the biggest, but he ain't nowhere near the size of Oscar De La Hoya, man. Canelo Alvarez ain't no Oscar De La Hoya. Canelo Alvarez is not a Sugar Ray Leonard. He's not a Mike Tyson. He's not a Floyd Mayweather Jr., man. He's not that level of star. Not. But I do believe he's the biggest boxer I do believe he's the biggest fighter in boxing today. Is Tank's bringing in big numbers for real? I think he's bringing in very big numbers for a lightweight. Yes. For a guy in his weight class, huge. Huge. For a guy that is fighting at 130 and 135 to do 200,000 pay-per-views, a guy at 130 to be selling out arenas, yeah, he's huge numbers. But he's not in the money weight class. That's the thing with Gervonta Davis. I don't think you get any bigger than Gervonta Davis at that weight class because he's a little guy. You know what I mean? If you look at what fighters really get to be very, very big in boxing, the guys that turn out being very big in boxing are the guys that fight at the higher weight classes. The heavyweights, number one, the heavyweights, number two, the welterweights, which is why Deontay Wilder was pulling in better numbers than most boxers. You know, like Errol Spence Jr., I think is the number two. As far as like the money earners, I have a suspicion that Errol Spence Jr. is number two. Now because AJ is really big in the UK, but I think Errol Spence might be the number two guy. It's a shame that he didn't get that Manny Pacquiao fight because that was going to be big. He said Tank did 270 in pay-per-views, top possibly 300 now. Yes, that's huge for a little guy. For a guy at 135, a guy fighting at 130 and 135, that's huge. So I think that you don't get any bigger than, I don't think anybody's going to get any bigger than Tank in those weight classes. And Floyd Mayweather and Jr. and them guys did an incredible job of selling them. But it's time for him to fight somebody at those weight classes. I don't think he should be going to 140. He's not a 140-pound fighter. He's a 130 he's a lightweight, man. Fight lightweight and get in with the rest of the guys, and I'm telling you, he's going to do, if he fought Teofimo Lopez and those guys, they got a chance to do 500,000-600,000 pay-per-view. The million pay-per-view is going to come like with an Errol Spence Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez. That's the fight that I think's got a chance to do over 1 million pay-per-view. And would really is the type of fight that would have everybody going. You know, that's the only fight that I can see really doing that. Or if Deontay Wilder beats Tyson Fury and AJ comes back and fights Deontay Wilder in the United States. Maybe that one. If AJ really builds it up. You know what I mean? Said, Asar M. said, I agree Floyd is trying to get him killed at 147. Yeah, he can't do 147, dog. Rick Russell said, what's going on, boss? Just chilling, man, seeing if I got 400 paper. Come on, man, let me get the 400 likes, man. Come on, man, we get the 400 likes. My man said Floyd versus De La Hoya have the record at 2.5. No. The record is Manny Pacquiao like 4. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. has the pay-per-view record. But it's going to be somebody at 147 pounds or it's going to be somebody at heavyweight. Lightweights, it's just not that much interest in the lightweights. You know what I mean? Because they're little itty bitty dudes. At least that's been historically speaking. You know what I'm saying? Floyd didn't sell like that at 135 pounds. Floyd didn't get big till he got to 147. These guys gonna have to get to 147 to get like that, in my opinion. You know? Atlanta Unanimous Boxing said, ain't no if Wilder walking Fury. I certainly hope so. You know, but I'm just one of these guys that I want to see the fight. And I hope that I'm rooting for Deontay Wilder to win. I still maintain this dude's going to cheat. I'm telling you, he's got something up his sleeve. These guys are cheaters. Once a cheater, always a cheater. That's what they're looking for. They're too good at it. So they're looking for another one. Steroid abusing, new steroids, something. John Sweet said, Malik Scott has a new strategy for Wilder. A 20-pound Power Ranger suit during the ring walk to keep his leg fresh. That's funny. That's really funny. Next, King Third Eye Ray said, "Hey, Fannon, the anger I see in Wilder's eyes sees redemption is astounding. Seeking redemption is astounding. Wilder by vicious KO." This is I'm gonna put, man. How do I know so much about boxing? I watch boxing all the time. That's my favorite sport. That's why, because I watch boxing and I pay attention to boxing. Not complicated. Information's out there. You take the information and then you be honest and use common sense. You know, like AJ and Fury. You guys are getting sold a bill of goods with AJ and Fury. So I'm telling you, you're getting sold a bill of goods. Not going to happen. You can forget about it. Okay. They're putting off the rematch with Dillian White. They're going to push. And matter of fact, that's what's going to happen. They're going to start pushing Dillian White. They're going to push Dillian White really, really hard on Tyson Fury. Because they already got a law. They're already setting it up. Because they got Dillian White with a lawsuit for the mandatory. So you know Eddie Hearn is already pushing the winner to fight Dillian White. They're not trying to make those fights, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to make that fight. It's just common sense. Luis Reyes said, "Fannon, do you think Ryan, Haney, and Tank Teo can become the Fab Four when they get older if they're at welterweight?" Yeah, but they should do it now. Ryan Garcia, Haney, Tank, and Teofimo. Yeah, they could. They got that too, but they got to do it at lightweight. They're already there now, or do it between the weight classes. But see, the problem with that is they got to They got to run into Jaron Ennis, and they got to run into Virgil Ortiz. None of those guys, I'm telling you, none of those guys want Virgil Ortiz. Ryan Garcia does not want Virgil Ortiz. Haney don't want Virgil Ortiz. Tank don't want Virgil Ortiz. Nor does Teofimo Lopez want Virgil Ortiz. Ryan Garcia does not want Jaron Ennis. Haney doesn't want Jaron Ennis. Teofimo Lopez doesn't want Jaron Ennis. When they get up to welterweight, they got to prove that they're the actual best cats at welterweight. And they got some dudes in welterweight division who are bigger than them and who are just as skilled and are the same age. Jaron Ennis is going to beat all of them. They're all too small for Jaron Ennis. All of them are too small for Jaron Ennis. And I honestly hope that Gervonta Tank Davis never even considers it. Because he's just not big enough, man. You know what I mean? X Wolf, he said, "Fannon, who do you think can beat Canelo, Benavidez, or 175? I mean, I think David Benavidez got a chance, and I think that Arthur Beterbiev has a chance. I think Caleb Plant got a chance. Quite honestly, I think they all got chances. You know, Renee Parchman said, one of the better boxing channels on YouTube. Salute, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. But look, let me get up out of here. Didn't AJ ask Wilder for $50 million and got it and still didn't take the fight? Got it and still didn't take the fight. You know what I mean? But look, man, I got to get up out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.